been fun to watch them as we move the depth charts around, watching to compete to see who's going to get on the field and represent Georgia this fall on the football field. So far, the competitiveness has shined. We have some kids in a little bit better shape than others. Some are working themselves into shape. They're fighting through a lot of dings out there. We've seen a lot of good mental toughness as they demonstrate that play to play. It's been a lot of fun thus far, so we'll see how it goes. We're a weekend with our installations. The volume of offense we're asking our kids to know right now is tremendous. We're pumping a bunch of plays at them right now, trying to check their aptitude to see how many can learn and how much they can learn. As you guys well know, we're only as strong as the weakest link in that chain, so we figure out our individuals and what they're able to do, and then we go from there. So it's been fun so far, learning a lot about this football team, all the young kids coming in and seeing how they're performing. So far, so good. It's been exciting, and from that point on, I'll open it up for anything you guys have. Okay, thanks very much for coming. I appreciate it. That's it? Go ahead. Yes.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Doing what?
Good to finally talk to you.
Good.
Two questions. I mean, you're a very outspoken guy. Has it been difficult to kind of?
Not one bit.
No, yeah. And obviously, you've been coaching quarterbacks and offense for a long time. Can you compare the situations you've inherited to many others? You know, where you got kind of a veteran guy, you got a really dynamic freshman.
Not really. This is a little unique that I think we have three kids that can go out and perform on the football field. And routinely for me, I have not had three guys that can go out and play. Now everybody has their opinion on the quarterbacks. It's polarizing position. You get the victories, you get told how great you are. You get the losses, you get told how bad you are. So that's kind of comes with it. But this is a unique situation with the age group of these three kids that we're competing with right now to find out who's going to play and who's not. So it's been a lot of fun, and we're rotating them around, and they go from one group to the other, and they're competing hard. But for me, in my history, I would say it is a little unique because I like all three of these kids. On any given day, I like one a little bit more than the other. I told them yesterday, I got a little upset with them and said somebody needs to start emerging a little bit here, showing a little bit more. As the volume comes in, it gets a little tougher on some of them. Some can handle a little more volume than others. That doesn't necessarily make you the best player and the one we're going to choose. But at the end of the day, every one of us as human beings, like quarterbacks, we have fleas. We're not all perfect, so they got to figure out what they do good and do as best they can and work on their weaknesses, and I feel comfortable in saying they're all doing that right now. So the competition's hot and it's alive, it's very competitive, and it's been fun to watch them. But it is unique to me to have three of them right now battling for this spot.
So as he said, you have three quarterbacks who can potentially play a significant role this season. So what are some of the qualities you look for, and what are some of the factors that go into deciding who's going to take that?
Well, it inevitably gets to who can score points and who can secure the football. Because winning football games is so much about ball security. Here comes the cliches game. Who can secure the ball? Who throws it to our guys and not the opponent? Who shows that discipline to be able to make that decision? If I call a downfield throw and it isn't there to check it down. Who can show the discipline to learn a new game plan week to week? Who can do those things? And ultimately, who can drive and lead 10 other men down into the end zone? So we're looking for that, and we're putting them in those environments to see who can do that. So who can secure the ball and who can move a group of men and lead them down to the end zone? Who can affect others in a real positive way? That's the best way to say it. And that's how we'll judge it at the end. You quantify as much as you can. How this quarterback's on target this much. He's making this many good decisions. And I can put all the numbers on everything they do. But at the end of the day, it'll get down to Coach Smart and making that decision on who he's wanting to go with. Someone might influence on that one way or the other. And it's not always about the math. Sometimes it's about a gut feeling what you're going to do. So at the end of the day, let them compete. It'll sort out when it sorts out. There's no timetable on this. And we'll figure out where it goes from there.
Coach, Bryce Ramsey's in a little bit of a unique situation, 3 different coordinators in 3 last years. How has he responded to you and picking up this offense, but also leading the offense on the field?
He's doing a fine job. I have no empathy. I've had 3 different schools in 3 years.
Yeah.
What's the big deal? Grow up, kiddo. You want to play. You want to go on and play. You're forced to learn, regardless of what style it is, who's the coordinator. None of that. Players play, coaches coach, administrators administrate. And there is no overlap. Do your job. Do it the best of your ability. Learn. work your butt off, strive to be the best you possibly can be, and see where it goes. Does it harm him in knowing more football and different systems? I've never got that feeling that's a negative. I've always felt like that's better. You have that ability to have something to fall back upon. Oh yeah, that's like this, that's like this. And I'll probably train them different than Mike or Brian did. It's just kind of the way we all have to do our things. But do I think he's behind the 8 ball and it's unique? Not one bit. I think it's a benefit to him.
Coach, Isaiah McKenzie, he's obviously a difference maker in the return game, but what have you seen from him in terms of improving as a receiver, and are there any plans to use him in any sort of special packages like Wildcat?
Well, I think anytime you got someone special with the ball, you're always looking for ways of getting the ball. He's good at that. He's demonstrated that year in, year out, that he has that ability to do that. So we'll be finding ways to get Isaiah the ball. Things that I've noticed about Isaiah, he's a physical football player. Everybody associates physicality with big guys. This is a little guy that pound for pound is as strong as anybody on our team. It doesn't bother him one bit to mix it up. So that's a good thing. He's attempting to become a better football player and a leader on our football team. It's interesting to watch his growth and maturity from the time we walked in the door to now. We've got him kind of quieted down a little bit. Isaiah likes to talk a lot. We prefer just to go play. So he's learning who we are. We're learning who he is. And I think he's doing a good job in that maturity and that growth. And I'd expect him to be on the field playing football for us. Do there need to be specific packages? There might be. But also he can go out and play full-time for us if we need him to do so.
Jim, you walk into a job where Jacob Easton's on the recruiting board. Can you talk about arriving here in December, kind of getting to know him pretty quickly, and then how you tried to manage him and get him to be the player that you
I'm
want him
flying down on a plane and throw the pitch shirt off, put the Georgia shirt on, meet with him an hour later. So that's the world we live in. To everybody else, that's like craziness. For us, it isn't. You sell who you are. We've all, after 30-some years, have developed resumes. And some of my resume's good, some of it's not so good, just like you guys. We're not different. I think people look at us in a unique mode because our lives are so public that we're just employees and we're just workers. We have the same type of things, the goods and the bads everybody else does. So we get in here and we sit down, we talk a lot, and got to know Jacob and his family, and I enjoyed him a lot. And I think he felt comfortable that what we were going to try to do with him as far as developmental and the program we were going to try to put up for him would fit his needs, and so he stuck with us, and tickled to have him here. He's an extremely talented young man that's learning his way around being a good quarterback.
Hey, Coach, how would you, as far as the tight ends go, how does this group compare to others you've had in the past? And in a perfect world, how would you see you utilizing them all?
Oh, I think it's as deep as any group I've ever been around. They have the ability to do a lot of things. They can be inline blockers. We can detach them and throw them footballs as a wide receiver. They have a unique ability to learn. This is a pretty sharp room. You walk into that room, they have a high aptitude. It doesn't bother them to learn 14 new concepts in a day. They'll pick that up quickly. I mean, we got smart kids in that room, which at that position you need to have. Other than the quarterback spot, they'll be more demanded of the tight end position than any other position on our football team. They got to learn. They got to be a tackle in the run game and a wide out in the passing game. So I can see us in a lot of multiple tight end sets if needed. If that's the direction you need to go to win that football game, then I feel real comfortable doing that. What I'm looking for is all those pieces. If I got to play with 3 tight ends in a game to win, we can. If we got to play with 4 wide receivers in a game to win a game, we can. And that's what you do in recruiting. You try to develop enough depth in your program that you have enough players that when they go on the field, you feel comfortable when you're setting a game plan that you're not hindered by your personnel and saying, well, I'm not sure I can do that yet. And right now in our infant stages here, I'm trying to figure out how many of those wideouts we can win with, how many tight ends we can win with as we approach this season, and it's coming up on us pretty quick. But I feel real comfortable with the depth and the aptitude in that.